I'm here with legend of squash, Jonah Barrington, and we are going to chat today about the Tournament of Champions, Jonah, coming up in this month in January. It's the first tournament of the year, and it's a bit of a landmark. It's 20 years that we've been playing at Grand Central Station, and it's been 84 years since the event has been running. In the early days, probably more hardball than softball, but what an event, Jonah, to kind of kick us off for the year after the kind of, what you say, the half break over the Christmas period.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event. I see it at a distance, obviously. You're there. That must be unbelievable in that kind of setting. I didn't have the opportunity to play on the courts where the public go walking past and involved in what's taking place, and I would imagine that live it is pretty stunning.
I mean, just talking about the amount of traffic that comes through Vanderbilt a day, it's around about 10,000. I think PJ was doing a count one day, a bit of time on his hands, and it was about 10,000 people that come through. So you've obviously got the stand set up, and then all the commuters that have never seen squash before. So an amazing kind of flagship for the PSA and for also professional squash to put a tournament up in such a prestigious venue as that. I mean, you played at Wembley Conference Centre in about 4,000 people, but I'd imagine you'd have quite enjoyed playing in a train station.
Well, I did actually. I played.
Oh, in Bristol.
Yes. I played in Bristol. There weren't 3,000 or 4,000 people. Still quite a lot of trains around, but you know, that was different. I mean, all these venues are so different, and I think it's fantastic that a sport has the opportunity to put these courts everywhere. I don't think, and I can't think certainly of any sport that can mirror this. It's unbelievable, and to kick off the year in New York in this way, I think is fantastic for squash.
Well, we've got the men's coming up, and talking about really the big five. Their heads pop up, their names pop up in the Tournament of Champions, the likes of Sobhy, Ramy, Ashour, Gaultier, Woolstrop, Matthew. They've had an unbelievable track record, all five of them, since basically 2008, Jonah. And the final stages are always very, very exciting at that event. But just kind of looking ahead to those, I mean, we've had a bit of a change with the emergence of Kareem Abdul Gawad, who's not yet hit a semi-finals of a Tournament of Champions. But what do you think after the kind of the Christmas break? Because I mean, we you know, all eyes are going to be on him, but also you've got the danger men of the golden era, the likes of Gaultier and Matthew as well.
Yeah, well, he backed up really well in Qatar after the World Championship, so you know, that suggested that he had the right kind of temperament to handle more pressure, because there is a different sort of pressure for him, Joey, now. And going into New York, obviously, most of the eyes will actually be on him to see how he fares there. And I think that he's developed into a world-class player. He's got a very good track record. Took a bit more time than quite a lot of the other Egyptians in the past and so on, but he's now amongst them. And but I think he has a very interesting first-round match against Simon Rosner, and that, to my mind, is a very considerable test, because Rosner will be after him, obviously.
And then you've got Sobhy's won this event last year. He's the defending champion. He also won it in 2015. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him now with what's happened at the back end of the year and him having to back up and defend the title in New York.
Well, I would imagine that all the players have made use of this period. If there was a player that badly needed a rest, well, that's legitimate. But I think that what you're looking is for a parallel to Murray in the States over the period in between tour finals and then kicking off again in before the Aussie Open. And I think that that is a prime period for getting in background work, picking up again after the autumn, which was very demanding. So I'm expecting all the players who would be in contention, or we would think to be in contention, to be, as you said, really prime for this.
Well, and just one more name I'd like to mention, because he has been based in New York a lot, and he's you know, the Maverick, Ramy Ashour. Now, he's won this event 3 times, all the way back. The first time he won it, I think it was in 2008. And I mean, that goes to show, you know, that's 8 years ago now, but he loves New York as a city. It's always of interest whether he's going to be fit physically, but I mean, it's a race against time for him. But if he's ever going to produce the goods, it probably is at Tournament of Champions. Well,
he's the most gifted of his generation. I think pretty well everybody agrees with that. And I don't know whether he is actually and has been playing at the kind of level that he was in the World Championship when he beat Mohammed. Since then, because of injuries, all depends obviously how fit he is, but he's a master squash player, and if he's backed by plenty of support there and he has a good feeling about him, then he will be unbelievably dangerous.
Yeah, and just to put you on the spot, really, who's going to be your pick to win that one?
Well, I think that Mohammed may well take this one actually, but if he does, it will be pretty perilous.
Well, we're very excited about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's ready for it. He's ready to play it, and he obviously wants to tick a box at the beginning of this year again. But seeing Gregory Gaultier in good form just very recently, that's going to make a difference. And hopefully Nick Matthews had a good period, and these guys are not going along just to make up the numbers.
Well, it's the big five in the men's, and it certainly is as competitive in the women. There's at least 7 ladies that could win the title of the Tournament of Champions this year. And Jonah, it's equal prize money and even parity, which is fantastic. They're following on from the US Open, and it's fantastic to see another event, a World Series event, going forward in that way.
Yeah, it's the right way. It's mirrored other sports, and it's great that squash sees it in this in that light as well. So it is a great tournament for the girls. It's also got such a varied cast of players, Joey. And as you say, all 7 and maybe somebody outside could well take the title.
Well, Nour El Shibini's the defending champion. The ladies haven't played a World Series event since Camille Serme won the US Open. That was back in October, Jonah. So there have been some smaller events that have been played, but nothing of this stature. So there's going to be a massive amount of hunger. El Shibini, who is the world #1, she actually hasn't won a World Series event this season, i.e. 2016, 2017. So it's very exciting, and there's going to be a lot of pressure, but there's going to be a lot of hungry ladies out there.
well, it will be, and I mean, some are younger than the others, and again, it's terrific to see Laura still in contention in that way, and Nicole David is still so athletic and very dangerous, but the 2 young girls at the top end, Joey, Shibini and Gohar, I mean, they have done remarkable things in the last 3 or 4 years. Shibini from a long way back in the juniors, and Noran, of course, is world junior champion, and she made huge progress last year, and she also has had a further period of development. So, you know, that'll be very interesting. The one who really fascinates me at a distance is Amanda Sobhy, who is going to be in her home country, and that is going to make a fantastic difference to squash in USA.
Well, I mean, she plays very well in her home country. She was in the final against Shibini in New York last year. She got to the semi-finals of the US Open in October, so it's evident that she plays really well in her own backyard. And yeah, I mean, it would be amazing for sport. I mean, what do you think that would mean? We've been dying to get an American squash player that's right up in the top few. It's happened in the women with Sobhy. If she does accelerate forward, if she were to take a title such of the Tournament of Champions, what would that do for squash in the US?
Well, she's got great support because coach is Thierry Lenco, and nobody was more professional than him, Joey. He was the most meticulous pro on the tour, and she's learning from the very best there, and the progress that she's made has been stunning in this last phase, and I would expect her to continue to do that. She doesn't seem to be phased playing before her home crowd, which quite a lot of people are. That seems to boost her, and that's going to be very significant, I think, in this tournament.
And I've just wanted to, we have a bit of a joke about it as a family, with me being right-handed, you being left-handed. But she is left-handed, and she's the only left-hander in the top 8.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring that into it because you might have thought it was a bit flippant, but she is actually a lefty, and she's also a lefty who seems to have a very good backhand, and lefties are normally pressed on their backhand for some reason. And she's good there, but she's got a great temperament, and the quality of what she does is already very high. So I think that is going to be fascinating to watch her. But then again, she's one of 7 or 8.
So your prediction for the women's?
Prediction for the women's, very difficult to go past the young Egyptians. Very difficult to go past Laura Jane, because she's still playing at an extraordinarily high level. Very difficult to go past Camille Serme, because she's making really good progress too, and plays the game in absolutely the right way. And I think that as I travel through the numbers, who have I missed out? Nicole, obviously, who still has a great chance.
Willili, maybe?
Definitely. Definitely. That's why it's going to be a great tournament, both for the women and for the men.
You haven't actually answered the question, though. You've been very, very
well,
political.
I know you do this with PJ, and then you don't say anything yourself.
But PJ
so
remember.
I'll reverse it, because I'm mentally stronger than you, so I'll outlast you. So who are you going to pick?
I'm going to go for Shabini.
Yes, well, that's...
I'm not talking about her brother.
Well, I'm not very impressed by that. And just as a last point, I think that with the Sobhy sisters, because there's a younger sister who's obviously at Harvard now, and a long time ago in tennis, Venus Williams, when she was about 13 or 14 years old, and she was being interviewed, and they said how fantastic she was. Well, if you think I'm good, you should see my little sister play. And I think that the younger Sobhy is going to be a big cheese when she fulfills her academic duties, if she wants to be, because she's showed as a junior, and she's also showed it against her sister in a US final about 3 years ago.
Well, you said it, so if she's watching, she should take heed, but equally as exciting as the men. I've been put on the spot by my father, but looking forward to the Tournament of Champions, and we'll be there live from New York.